first of a few short videos in which I'm going to talk about organ accompaniment of hymns. I'm making certain assumptions. One is that we don't have a conductor and the organ is doing the leading of the congregation, and the other is that we don't have a choir involved either, because if you're rehearsing things with a choir, you can decide slightly different things to what you might have simply working with the congregation. Hymn accompaniments, why are we doing them? Well, we want people to sing, and wanting people to sing, of course, requires certain bits of knowledge on the part of the congregation. One, that they've got some idea what the tune is, how it goes, and how fast it's going to go and when it's going to start. And in this video I want to talk about some guidelines. They're not rules. Everything has to be done differently at some times for some reasons, but over many years, too many years, I found these guidelines quite helpful in getting congregations going. So the playover of the hymn, what should it be? Should it be the start of the hymn or the end of the hymn? If there's any doubt about what the tune might be, then playing the start of it, even the whole of it, can sometimes be useful if it's not that familiar to the congregation. But with a lot of hymns, especially things like Abide With Me, the tune is very well known, and so certainly by my congregations, and so the very end of it is a good thing to play over. One reason for that is it avoids a false start. If you play the very start of the tune, the congregation might wonder, are they supposed to start singing at that point? Clearly the answer is no, this is the playover, and by playing the last line, there's no risk of them trying to sing the words of the first line to the tune of the last. Sometimes if we do have to play over the first line, we can do things to avoid a false start, making it a fairly quiet accompaniment. Gives the impression that we're not likely to support congregational singing with a fairly quiet registration like that. If we came in with a good strong organ introduction, there's a much greater risk of a false start. Another way to avoid a false start might be to just solo out the melody. Don't make the accompaniment very strong. Again, that will tend not to trigger a false start. Okay, so much for what we play over. Obviously the reason for playing it over is to indicate the tune, the pitch of the tune and the speed of the tune. Very important point is not to vary the speed. Having started in the playover at one speed, that is the speed the hymn is going to go. Nothing worse than a fast playover to get it out of the way and then giving a false impression to the congregation as to what speed you expect them to sing. So keep the tempo the same. The next thing is the moment at which we're going to start singing. Having had the playover, do we keep strict time? This particular hymn has got 4 beats in a bar. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And that 2 beats rule is one that I found very effective in lots of hymns. It works in this hymn. There are 4 beats on the last note. Give every one of those and actually count them out to yourself silently, or if you need to do it fairly quietly. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, rest. So, we've established the pitch, we've established the tune we're going to use, the pitch of the tune, the speed of the tune, and also the start point. If we can get that to work every time, that's all well and good. Now, you might think 2 beats sounds absolutely fine for a hymn that's in 4 time, as that one is. What about a hymn in 3 time? Does it still work? Well, yes and no, it depends on the hymn. I would argue very often it does. For example, a couple of pages on, another evening hymn is this one. the day thou gavest. Now at the end of that one, if we do the last line play over idea, we might get something like this. 1, 2, rest, rest. So even though this hymn has 3 in the bar, the 2 beat still works. Now this particular hymn, it ends, or it starts with an anacrusis on an upbeat. 1, 2, the day. And therefore, to make it all balance out, there's just 2 beats at the end of the last line. So that's what we give it. Give it 2 beats, and then in we come. 1, 2, 1, 2. And off we go. So that's some ideas. We'll talk about some other ideas on hymn playing a little bit later.